Welcome. This is the first of our podcasts about the sacred realms, about out-of-body experiences. And I think I should start with an introduction, basically talking about why we're talking about out-of-body experiences to begin with, and why you would want to have one. Now, for some people that know a little bit about this, I think they find it very intriguing, and that's probably part of why you're here. But some people would probably find it a little bit scary as well. And I hate to say this, but some people are terrified beyond belief of the concept of out-of-body experiences. And I have to say that personally myself, I've never really experienced that. I've never really been afraid of anything in the other realms. But let's talk about why you would want to have it to begin with. Well, it's going to, because your whole life has been wrapped up in this existence in your body to the point that you think that you are a body. And as a result, you can't really imagine life beyond it very much. So if you start to ask questions, if you start to wonder about the nature of reality, you might at some point come to the conclusion that maybe it's possible to have an out-of-body experience. And when you do finally have one, or even if you just know that they're possible, you know that you really aren't your body, that you exist beyond the body, and that you are really immortal. And when you first not every out-of-body experience is going to be the same, of course. But even when I had my very first one, which was a long time ago, I think it was 1985, right away, I had that knowingness that, wow, this is amazing to know that I do exist beyond the body. And I not only do I have a soul, but I am a soul. And all these things that I only maybe kind of dreamed about or imagined when I first kind of started to think about spiritual things are very much a reality. So I understood that we're always communicating, that we're always connected to different people in our life. My first out-of-body experience was with my brother Luke, and it was kind of funny how it happened, because we were having this discussion one day about different metaphysical things, and I was I'd kind of figured out that he probably was having these. In fact, I knew, but I couldn't really understand how I knew. The idea of knowingness was such a foreign concept. So we were having a discussion one day, and I said to him, Luke, you're having out-of-body experiences, aren't you? And he looked at me, and he knew that I said it with such conviction that his response was priceless. He looked back to me and said, how do you know that? And it was partially because he had had so many of these experiences in the other realms that he knew that it was possible for me to actually know this. And so that was a great response, and we kind of took it from there. And he had a little bit of trepidation, I think, because I think that it was confusing for him at first, and it wasn't all uplifting for him. There was a lot of parts of his life that were maybe a little bit confusing to him, and it can be confusing in a lot of ways to kind of bring your life into harmony with these experiences that are just so beyond everyday life. So we had our first out-of-body experience together, and we both remembered it, which of course was it really validated the whole experience for me and got me on the path. And right away, I understood. I saw firsthand, even if that first experience wasn't magnificent in any way, shape, or form, I really clued into that idea that I was already kind of catching on to, that we're not our bodies, that we're really a magnificent part of the divine, a sliver, a spark of light that has infinite potential. And that's what's so amazing, because when you clue into that sort of idea and you go beyond into the next dimension, and you can kind of experience this in so many different ways. It's unlimited as to what you can do and what you can experience, that it can be so uplifting and so empowering. Now, when I first got into out-of-body experiences, I have to admit that I was on board with the fascination of it, and the almost like the carnival aspect of it, the Disneyland aspect of it, I guess. But as time went on, I kind of came to try to see it in more of a different way, where I tried to figure out, how can I use this to better my life, to try to solve some of the problems and some of the issues that were going on in my life. So how can I make my life more uplifting, more fulfilling, and better, as opposed to just having these cosmic experiences? Not that there's anything wrong with cosmic experiences, but if you can somehow have those and take that cosmic knowledge and bring it down into your everyday life, so that it is uplifted and brought up more into a harmonious state with those experiences, then I think it has this amazing value to the experience, as opposed to just a really cool experience that you can't really find a real value for it in your life, or it's kind of separated from your life. So that was really important for me. And also it helps you understand really, really deep questions, the deepest of questions that we all have, like, who are we, where do we come from, and what's our purpose in being here. So those questions will be answered eventually, and no one can answer those questions for you. I can't answer those for you. I can't tell you what those are, because it would mean nothing if I explained that to you. You have to come to that within yourself. You have to touch that divine spark within yourself. And once you get there, it's amazing how your life can change, and how everything can change, really, and how you can start to see this amazing power and this amazing magic unfold into your life. When I talk about out-of-body experiences, I know everyone wants to, they want to know the key to have one, how to make it all happen, the nuts and bolts of it, how to get out of your body. But you know what? That stuff isn't really what's most important. I find that the most important thing is to understand that we all have them to begin with. And that if you start to understand that, to really know that within your being, that eventually it will happen to you. It's inevitable. It will come to you. Now, there's things that you can do to help make it happen, but it will come your way, and it will change your life in ways that are really unlimited. It's hard to really define it, because there's so many different ways that it can change your life. So I think that this is one of the most important things on a spiritual path. If you can devote some time, some energy, some push towards this concept, this knowingness that if you really focus on it, that you will eventually have out-of-body experiences, that it can be life-altering and life-changing. Now, the other thing that will happen is there's going to be a lot of other questions that happen as a result. Sure, it's going to answer some of the big questions that I talked about earlier, but there's going to be a lot of other questions that come your way as a result, because I don't want to say it's opening a can of worms, but it's just delving into your deeper spiritual nature and this well of potential knowledge and wisdom that's waiting there for you. So I think that's really important stuff. And that's kind of just where I want to start and just kind of pique your curiosity today with this very first podcast that I'm doing. And I'm going to try and keep them all really short so that I don't overwhelm you and I don't want to leave you with an hour of material. But that's where we're going to start today, and just kind of covering the basics of why I think you might want to have out-of-body experiences. So we'll delve into a lot of different topics as we go on, but I'd like to thank you for being here, and do your part. Try to cultivate the experience within yourself so that you too can have an out-of-body experience.